Hey, Trinity members and friends, this is Pastor Dan Garretts. I'm coming to you today from my home office, a place that I've been spending a lot of time here these last number of weeks as we continue to serve along with the rest of the staff, most of us working from home in these days. You may hear my daughter. She's downstairs actually in the middle of a bass lesson with her band teacher. So if you hear a little bass guitar coming through, that's what that is. You know, it's just life in the quarantine here for all of us. So I wanted to take a couple of moments today, though, just to update you on Trinity's life and mission. In particular, wanted to lift up that last week, Trinity's Council extended our building closure through Sunday, May 31st. And while that, again, wasn't an easy decision, because we are also ready to return to some normalcy at church and in all of our lives, we did it because we're also committed to protecting our community and neighbors from infection and to continue to limit the spread of the virus. From the very beginning, we've always based our decisions about our building and our ministry in these times on the guidance provided by the CDC and Cerro Gordo Public Health and our local health leaders. And we've continued to do that with this decision. In the past day, we've been affirmed also in our decision to continue our closure by our Synod leadership and many of our community faith partners here in Mason City and North Iowa. You know, we just want to ensure that all the good work that we've done to limit the spread of COVID-19 in our community is not undone by reopening our building and resuming gatherings too early. So while we will continue to be closed through at least May 31st, I want you to know that we're going to be using this time, though, to also begin planning strategies and guidelines for us to reopen whenever that can happen. As we develop these guidelines, we're going to continue to consult with our public health experts and the guidance coming to us from church leaders around the country. And, you know, I think it's worth saying that while many of us in the beginning had kind of imagined that when the churches would reopen, we would all kind of return at once and there would be a kind of a grand kind of celebration, I think we're now recognizing that whenever our reopening begins and however that happens, it's likely that it's going to be happening more in phases than all at once. I really appreciate our leadership's broad support for the strategy, the council's support of this, and we want to thank you for understanding this. Please continue to pray for a spirit of discernment around these issues and for love and for patience for all of us. A couple of other quick things I want to update you about here as long as I'm talking to you. It has really been remarkable to see Trinity's mission, our mission of sharing God's healing love through Christ and through our personal stewardship, continuing to thrive. We are providing food for hungry families. We're making hundreds of phone calls every week to people who are isolated in our church and beyond. We're providing masks for people on the front lines. We're gathering in care groups online. We're gathering for worship online and by radio. And in a lot of ways, reaching farther with God's healing love than maybe ever before. I want you to know that our staff continues to work remotely whenever possible, and they've really done a great job in adapting programming and ministry to our current needs. You see that in our communications, hopefully in the things that we're sending out and reaching out with. You know, they often say that disruption is the best teacher, and that has certainly been true for us as a staff. We have been forced to jump into new and different ways of ministry that have been challenging, but they're going to strengthen our mission for years to come. And in the midst of it all, as a staff, we're really grateful to have been able to welcome Dr. Matt Gender, our new music director, to our staff here in just the last couple of weeks. So thanks for the ways that you have welcomed him, despite not being able to meet him in person yet. We do continue to provide care for those who are sick and hospitalized, although that has become more difficult, especially in finding out who is in the hospital or facing health challenges or changes. So I just want to say, if you or a loved one needs care from our staff or from our care teams, please contact our office or one of us directly. And know that we're here for you, no matter what your need may be. Just give us a call. God's work at Trinity has continued to happen in no small part because of your generosity, too. We cannot thank you enough for the ways that you are boldly supporting our mission, which has not only enabled us to continue our great ministries at Trinity, but it's enabling us to continue to support the ministries and agencies around our community that are so important to us, and even around our region and around the wider church in the world. People are hurting, and your gifts are making a difference where it is most needed. So thank you for that. Finally, in closing, I want to leave you with an image that a member shared with me on the phone this past week. She had been talking with her son about this situation that we're all in, and she had remarked to him something like, "We're all in the same boat." And her son, who's a social worker, corrected her. He said to her, "No, Mom, we're not all in the same boat. We're in the same storm, but we are each in different boats." And I thought that was pretty profound. You know, it's true that while we're all dealing with the effects of this virus, we're all experiencing the disruption and the uncertainty that it brings. We are experiencing the effects of this virus in different ways, depending on our situations. Some of us are finding blessings in the midst of all of this, rejoicing in the time that we have with our spouse or our children, or enjoying the time that we suddenly have to work on hobbies, or maybe just rest. Others are stressed by losses of work, by financial instability, by the demands of their work, or maybe even by having to juggle kids and working from home, or just the stress of being pent up in the house with the same people day after day. Some of us are more anxious and alone than we've ever been before. And others are becoming more deeply connected because suddenly it's a priority to call or to video conference with loved ones. For many of us, it's a mixture of blessings and struggles, and that can even change from day to day or even hour by hour. So yes, while we're all in the same storm, we're often in different boats, I think. As people of faith, though, we also know that God is not hindered by storms. In fact, Scripture tells us again and again of how God has dwelled with people in the wind, been with them in the waves. From Noah to Jonah to Jesus, who was right in the boat with the disciples, and when they were most afraid and most at risk, Jesus spoke a word that calmed the seas and saved them. God is with you in the storm, friends, whatever boat you find yourself in today. And our mission right now, I think, as a church, is to keep tossing lines between our boats to one another, to create an armada of boats, if you will, as we ride out this storm together. God is with us. We will get through this. It will just take some more time. So peace to you, friends, wherever you are today. God is with you. We are with you in that boat. And if you need help, know that you can toss us a line. Thank you for your prayers, the love that you're sharing, and all the ways that you are making the world around you a little bit better. Let's continue to look to God, our refuge and our strength, as we ride this out. And as Psalm 40 says, look to him who is this very present help in trouble. Peace to you.